Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more rifle testing, and today we've got a very interesting combination to try out. I've never shot any of this particular ammunition, and I think I've only showed this rifle one, maybe two times on the channel so far, but a lot of people really seem to like it when I bring it out, and I probably don't bring it out and shoot it as much as I probably should. So I figured, hey, when I found this ammo in the bargain bin the other day, I figured it's a perfect time to bring it out here and see what it could actually do, since it might give us some rather impressive results today. But as for the rifle we're running, I brought out my Ruger M77 Mk II. This one's a 308. It's got a 22-inch barrel on it. Up on top here is a basic Nikon 4.5 to 14 by 40. It's an old Buckmaster scope. Nothing fancy, but it serves the purpose perfectly fine for what I use this rifle for. So 200 yard and in deer hunt scenarios, perfectly fine. Either way, a lot of you guys really seem to like this rifle, or the M77s in general, and they're definitely some nice rigs. Now for those curious, this one is bone factory stock the way it came, brand new, except for the scope. It's never had a trigger job, it's never had the stock bedded on it or anything like that. It is as it came from the factory, so we'll see how it can actually do with today's ammunition. But as for that ammo we're going to run, I was at one of my local shops and they have a little bargain bin of random stuff they get sometimes on trade-in, and I found these for super cheap. Some Freedom Munitions 308 Reman, but they are a 308 168 grain Hornady AMAX bullet, and I did do a quick look up on their website and it seems like 2680 is the velocity claim for when they load 308 with an AMAX. So I don't know, we'll see how this Freedom stuff shoots. If it's good quality stuff that they've put together, I've never run an AMAX in a 308, so it very well could give us some very nice results. So we'll see what the combination can give us. But as for how we're going to run today's test, we're going to do it the same as we usually do. So the target is going to be set up at 100 yards. We're going to take 3 groups, 3 shots each, and of course all of them will be through the chronograph. It might not be a perfect test for everybody, but it's going to give us a decent idea of what these might actually be capable of. As for other details, that rifle is not a perfectly clean bore. It's got, I don't know, about 10 rounds through it right now, and I will be letting the barrel cool down for 5 minutes or so between each group. So enough talking, let's get you guys a view of that target. We'll take our groups and come back here to the bench and see how they actually performed. Alright, so let's take a peek at our velocities real quick before we look at our target. The website claim for when Freedom Munitions loads 168 grain AMAX and 308 says they should be moving 2680. I believe we were around that or maybe just over that, but we'll go through and see what we actually got. So for a high, we had 2725. For a low, we had 2693. That gave us an average of 2707 with an extreme spread of 32 and a standard deviation of 11. So 2707 from a 22-inch 308 barrel with a claim that's supposed to be 2680, that's not bad. And they seem to be relatively consistent. I mean, they're not quite what I would call like precision as far as the consistency goes for velocity. But here is your energy numbers for 2707 with 168 grain AMAX. So you guys can see what we're pushing. These are not really supposed to be a hunting oriented bullet, but I know there's a bunch of people out there that do hunt with AMAXs. Either way, seeing a little bit more than their boss claim really isn't a huge concern for me. I'd say they did perfectly fine as far as the velocity goes, but let's go check out our targets because I think we saw a little bit different story there. Alright, well, here's our target, and I gotta say, I'm not really super impressed. So a few things right off the bat. Number one, these are not the round this rifle is zeroed with, so I'm not too concerned about that. I felt really good about all of my trigger pulls today, so I don't think that was a problem. This was not my first rifle shooting of the day, so I felt very good there. Conditions are good out here. It's not windy or anything like that. About 83 degrees or so. And I let the rifle cool down between each of the groups. So really, just looking at it here, I'm not impressed. Now, I know these are a reman load, whether that means they cleaned them up or if that means they reloaded them at Freedom Munitions. I don't entirely know for certain, but it seems like either they're not a super great loading option or this particular rifle is not a fan of that particular bullet weight or bullet design or something of that nature. It could have been a multitude of things, and like I mentioned earlier, that rifle has never had a bedding job done or anything like that, but I know that it can shoot much better than this. I've seen it, I've done it with that rifle, so this just was not the perfect combination for this particular setup. But I'll go through and measure the groups and we'll see what we got. We'll start with the group on the top left and move our way through. So our first group in the upper left was 1.45 inches. I think that's probably going to be our best group of the day right there. It's still nothing impressive. It's not completely horrible, but we'll move to the right to our second group because we definitely opened it up a little bit there. And that second group was 3.27 inches, pretty much a vertical string. Not anything impressive once again. It's definitely quite a bit more open than what I would want to see, even in a generic target shooter. But let's go down to that bottom group and see what the third one gave us. So our third group gave us 3.15 inches. So really not impressed. So if you want to call it a 2-inch or so average, kind of split the difference here. I was kind of hoping for better out of this combo, but that's why we test things and see what works and what doesn't. So now I'm curious if I run these rounds through another 308 that I have, if we get the same results or not. Judging by kind of how things went today, I have a feeling that we're probably going to see pretty similar results from different rifles, but it could be worth a shot and see what happens. But definitely not exactly the results I was kind of hoping to get for today's test. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about those results right there? Definitely pretty disappointing, but that's why we test a bunch of different things to see what works and what doesn't, and this combination is not really that ideal. I have a tendency to lean more towards the ammo on this particular one. I know that rifle is capable of much better than that. I've seen it with some other loads myself. It's absolutely capable of MOA or better at 100 yards all day long. So is there potentially a reason why this ammo was traded in at a local shop and kind of thrown in the bargain bin for 14 bucks? There very well could be a possibility that it's just not all that fantastic as far as accuracy goes. I don't know. It could be worth another try and another rifle just to see what happens, but let me know if that's something you guys want to see. Either way, I was definitely hoping to see a little bit better accuracy out of them today. I mean, that AMAX is a good bullet, so if they were loaded well, I would have imagined they should have been a little bit better than that. But leave your thoughts down below. Is it about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you ever tested any of these AMAX 168 grainers from Freedom Munitions? And if so, what kind of results have you seen? Is that a combo that you would ever use for target shooting or even hunting with, even though it's not technically a hunting bullet? And what are your general thoughts here? Was it just the rifle not liking this ammunition? Was it the ammo being a little bit inconsistent, or anywhere in between? And what other setups do you want to see me potentially run those through, if any at all? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All that information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.